Hi, my name's Ed Crinion and I'm from Rust Stop, Australia. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about our product, which is the RS 5.3. I'll start off by talking a little bit about how we actually put this thing on our vehicle and a little bit about rust to start off with. So if we start with this triangle right here, we learned when we were young that in order to have a fire, we need fuel, oxygen, and ignition. And if any of those three items were missing, we couldn't have a fire. Well, rust is the same thing. When the iron ore is taken out of the ground and it goes to the smelter and then it goes on to the steelwork to make all of the panels for our cars, our chassis rails, for buses, trucks, etc., etc., the steel is made up of three molecular items: atoms plus, atoms minus, and free electrons. And the atoms plus is about a +1 volt charge, and atoms minus is about a -1 volt charge. And when we get water across this metal, like that, they connect and they create an oxidization, which is really another word for rust. Now, typically, if we took the bonnet of our car and we sanded it down and parked the car in front of our garage overnight, the night mist or the dew or just the moisture in the air, you'd come out in the morning and it'd be all red because of this connection. Okay? Now the second step here is, how do we prevent this rust? Our system, we start off with a command module, right, which hooks directly to the battery. We don't get involved with the wiring harness of the car or the ECU or any of the other electrical items in the car, and it does not disturb the radio or anything else. This command module has two channels, two more wires come on, channel 1 and channel 2. Now we use a 200-year-old technology combined with modern technology, and we use a sacrificial anode, right, as our system, right? When we put these anodes on the car, we find a little area and we make a light scratch underneath them, peel the tape off the anode, and the emulsion that sticks onto the car is a semiconductor, right? Now, this unit charges the anode with 35 to 50 volts DC at 0.01 of an amp. Now, what is 0.01 of an amp? It's the same power that's required to charge that little tiny red light on the dashboard of your car from a factory alarm system. Not the horn blaring or anything like that, but just the monitoring system. Okay? So what happens, because this anode is put in a place where it will get wet or damp when you wash your car, when it's raining, a heavy dew, high humidity, the free electron travels to it. Because it's the big breakfast. The free electron will always travel to the highest voltage. Therefore, we have broken the cycle. And the anode is the one that suffers from it. And the electrons eat the anode. Now, how does that apply to our car? So we'll draw two cars here. This is like a Ford Commodore, a Ford Falcon, and then we'll draw a four-wheel drive as well. Now, where do we put these anodes? We put the anodes where they'll get wet. So in the front of the Commodore, say, between the mudguard and the bonnet, there's a little line that runs down there where you lift your bonnet up, and that's where the water runs out towards your headlights. So we put our two anodes there. In the back, where the boot is, or the hatch, we put them there as well, outside of the rubber strips that keep it dry on the inside, so they also get wet. So when the whole car gets wet, the anodes get wet and therefore draw the free electron to it. And they wire up in a parallel, channel 1 and channel 2. Now, with the four-wheel drive, we have a slightly different wiring system, because we're assuming that with your four-wheel drive, because 75% of the population of Australia lives next to the coast or within close proximity, that you're going to take your four-wheel drive up the beach. Whether you're in Queensland and Fraser Island, or you're down at the Erie Peninsula in Adelaide, or you're over in Western Australia at Red Bluff, you'll be down there on the beach with your truck or your four-wheel drive, and it will get salt water on it, possibly. But it is a high salt environment. So we put the two front anodes in the same place at the bonnet, and we put two additional anodes here on the chassis rail, on the inside edge of the chassis rail, and then two in the back at the tailgate or the rear door of the car. Or if it's a tray back, we mount them underneath on the bar that hooks these two rails together, generally on each side of where the tow ball hitch might be in the license plate. Again, we wire them like this, channel 1, and like this, channel 2, right? Now, if this is done carefully and we maximize as close to the front and as close to the back as we can get, we will get a cloud of protection from the anodes. Now, the anodes don't last forever, especially on this vehicle here, because it's getting high use. If this vehicle goes up the beach, say 3 or 4 times a year, you'll get 3 to 5 years out of your anodes. And then you would go back to your dealer or dial the 1-300 number, and you would buy 3 packs of new anodes for $75. You would peel the old anode off after you unscrewed the wire from it, peel it off, give it a clean, stick the new one back on and screw the wire back on, and you're ready to go again. The product comes with a 10-year warranty. It's really important that you initialize your warranty after you've received your product, whether you put it on yourself or somebody else puts it on for you, like an auto electrician, or one of the many people that are listed on our website as authorized installers. If you have any questions at all, just dial the 1-300 number. You'll see it on ruststop.net. You'll see the 1-300 number there. Call that number with any questions and I'll be there to answer them for you, whether you're just a general inquiry or you're installing and you get stuck, or any other questions that you have, including warranty issues. Once in a while our transformers do give up. We've been in Australia since 1989, right? Our product is made in Durban, South Africa under Commonwealth standards, and we're very confident that it will do the job for you, right?